Getting ready to install this steam wand. I use these big grommets in place of the little clip and zip tie that they give you in the bag to go in the steam wand. That's what this looks like. I don't use this anymore. So I just run the cord of the steam wand through that big grommet, and it just has a nice protected area to run. It's important to leave enough slack in the cable that the steam wand can pivot, but you don't want a bunch of cable sticking out back there. It's just something to snag or get hooked on the brew group side if you leave too much hanging out there. This zip tie is really important. If you leave that cable kind of hanging loose right here, the door for the spout, which slides up and down, will catch it from time to time. It can slice it right in half. So it's important you capture this temp sense cable somewhere along there so it doesn't get hung up. And then it plugs in on this lower connection on the board that I'm showing right here. And I just tuck any excess cable back behind there because you're going to have to probably remove this steam wand in the future, and it's not always worth just cutting a bunch of zip ties to get it out of there. So then just quickly plug in the steam supply tube there and put this retaining plate back on with that screw, and you're ready to put the front display on. It's pretty important. You got to open up the door. So many people forget to open up that door, but the sheet metal of the display actually goes behind the door interface, so you got to have that open before you put the display up there. And hang it over those top two tabs first, and then move the base in, the bottom part of the base in. If you just lift on that sheet metal, that forked piece of sheet metal inserts between those two pieces, and then you can tighten this 7mm bolt right there and put the front screw back in the display. When you get the display mounted, then you can take this ribbon cable and put it back through that grommet and plug it back into the CPU board there. These T-wands or hot water wands are made to just unscrew, and the seal is just an interference fit, so you kind of tighten it until it's straight, and that should stop it from leaking and kind of keep it in place. And to get this rubber grip back on the steam wand, I just put a little bit of that oil on the inside and kind of smush it so that it smears around on the interior. And then you can save yourself some hassle and take the bottom portion of that steam wand off. And you get half the steam wand for free when you go to put this rubber grip back on, because they can be kind of difficult to squeeze back on there. So I get it up just far enough to put that lower section back on, and then I can hold on to that lower section and push that rubber grip the rest of the way back up to that display. And the last things we need to do is put the covers back on and get everything powered back up and heated up, and then we'll calibrate this steam wand. This calibration I'm about to show you, I'm shooting for 160 degrees, and I do a little close-up of the front display so you can kind of see how to log into the machine. And the access code that you see me input, that's actually related to the card and not the machine. So every card can have its own access code. And that can be confusing to people. They think they're changing the code on the machine, but it's actually, the code goes with the card. After the machine's heated up, you just want to get a carafe full of water is all I'm using, and run a steam and see what the temp is. It temped out to 156 on that one, so I'm going to go into the programming here and adjust the temperature up. The actual reading that you see isn't so important. It's a good reference. I mean, they'll always be pretty close, but you want to adjust the temperature until you get the correct reading on the thermometer and not care so much about what the temperature reads on the display. And these numbers read in Celsius, so it's about 2 degrees Fahrenheit for every degree Celsius. It's a little less, but it's close. So bumping that up 2 degrees Celsius should give me about 4 degrees of change in Fahrenheit. And I am speeding this video up while you're watching it. This machine doesn't actually, none of these machines actually steam this quickly. That's a fair amount of water I have in there, but I just wanted to get through as quick as possible. And so this one settles out at about 159, so that'd be an adequate temperature. Well, that's it for my series on steam wands. So if there's anything else, let us know. And as always, I appreciate you watching. And please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks. Goodbye.